Oh, oh dear, you've caught me in my night clothes. Oh, do excuse me this evening, but I'm going to make a cake, even though I'm almost ready to turn in for the night. You see, with very short notice, my son is coming home on leave tomorrow, and I've got nothing to greet him with. I'm in the middle of spring cleaning, so the house is still pretty much upside down, and I'm going to be hard pressed to get it straight to welcome him home, let alone have some time to do a little bit of baking. So I'm going to make a cake for him, but this is a different cake. This cake won't keep me up for another couple of hours. It's a cake that you prepare the night before, so that the following day all I have to do is pop it in the oven. So I've put down my knitting, I've had my Ovaltine, and I'm just going to do this to leave it overnight before I head off to bed. Now, I do hope I don't get it over my dressing gown, but of course it's a bit hard to get a pinny on over this. Now, the first thing I'm doing is rubbing 3 ounces of fat into half a pound, that's 8 ounces of self-raising flour. Now, are you impressed with my dressing gown? I'm rather. With the clothing coupons going down to 48 this year, it really is hard to try and make them stretch. 7 coupons for a frock, 18 coupons for a new costume. I mean, that's 11 for a jacket and 7 for a new skirt, so 18 altogether. Just a new costume and a new frock will use up over half of my clothing allowance for this year. So I've had a good look around the house, and I've delved into the ottomans in the bedroom to find any bits of spare blanket or bedspreads that I think I can turn into some usable clothing and saving on those precious clothing coupons. So I raided the ottoman for this candlewick bedspread. Now, my cousin in America would know this as a chenille bedspread, but we've always called them candlewicks. Now, my niece in London, she says that they dress so much smarter and are far more up to date than us in the country. But then again, we have very practical lives out here. My niece's young friends won't waste coupons on what you can't see. It's amazing what they use to make their undies, pilots' parachutes, and even the muslin that the carcasses of the animals are wrapped in to transport them from the abattoirs to the butchers. They give the butcher 6pence, and he gives them loads of these muslin cloths, which they take home and give a really good clean, and that's what they make into their slips. They're very resourceful. Now, I've rubbed in that 3 ounces of fat to the 8 ounces of flour, and I'm popping in 3 ounces of sugar, and I'm also going to put in 3 ounces of dried fruit. Now, I'm using sultanas, but of course, ladies, don't forget that your prunes and your dates are much lower in your points coupons than your sultanas, raisins and currants, so you really can make a saving there. But as it's special, I'm going to use up some of the last of my precious sultanas. So pop that in with the sugar, your dried fruit, and also some flavouring I'm going to pop in a teaspoon of mixed spice. Now, if you've got children in the family that are allowed oranges, you can always use orange peel instead. And I'm also going to pop in some household milk, dried, not reconstituted, just as the normal dried milk powder, and that's 4 dessert spoons of dried milk. Now, I don't normally curl my hair, but being a special occasion, I have put a few rags in there to give it a bit of curl for tomorrow. So there's my dry ingredients. 8 ounces of flour, rubbed in 3 ounces of fat, 3 ounces of sugar, 3 ounces of fruit, a teaspoon of spice, and 4 level dessert spoons of household milk. I'm now going to add my liquid to it, and in here I've got 1/4 pint of water and 3 tablespoons. So measure out 1/4 and then add an extra 3 tablespoons. And I'm going to put about half in to begin with and give that a jolly good mix. And then I'm going to add the extra half, that last half of water. And you will find that your mixture seems quite wet. Don't worry, that's exactly how it should be. And then I'm going to clear up, fill the hot water bottles, and I'm going to go off to bed having left this mixture all overnight. Now, I think you can see there that this is a very wet liquid cake mix. Don't worry, that's all part of the plan. So I think I'll say good night now, and I'll see you in the morning. Now, why I bothered putting rag curls in my hair last night, all I ended up with was a couple of little kinks at the bottom. My hair's so long at the moment, it's impossible to get an appointment at the hairdressers. All those young girls have left hairdressing to join the services, and those that are left seem to only want to work for people who give a very good tip. Now, I don't have a lot of spare cash, so I can't tip them very well. It's funny, whenever I give them a call, there are never any appointments available, yet that Mrs. Bowring from the WVS, she's always got a head of curls, looking immaculate. She manages to get an appointment. Never mind, I should be grateful that my hair is still as thick as it is and retaining a lot of its colour at the age I am now. Still, let's get on and finish the cake that I left in the bowl all overnight. Now, I greased a 6-inch baking tin last night before I went to bed, and all it takes now to pop that cake in the oven is to stir it up again and then add 1 level teaspoon of baking powder, pop that in the mix, give it a good stir in, and then straight in the cake tin into a moderate oven for about an hour and a quarter. And I can tell you, ladies, this really is the most delicious cake. It lasts for ages and ages, but you'll eat it up too fast. Staying moist for many, many days. So do give this cake a try. All it's going to take is an hour and a quarter, popped in, and it will be cooked and cooled, ready to serve at lunch for when my lad comes home. Now that smells done. Let's have a look. Oh dear, bit of a disaster, like my hair today. The oven was too hot and the surface has cracked. I don't think this will win any prizes in the WI eggless cake competition, but having made this before, I can tell you ladies, despite what it looks like, this is going to taste delicious. Let it stand a while in its tin before turning it out. This will be lovely and cool, ready to cut by lunchtime when my son should be here. I'm going to serve it after a lovely pilchard salad.